Well, we saw Vice President Kamala Harris speaking with reporters last hour in a gaggle as she was getting ready to leave and take a jaunt to where she goes next. She took just 4 questions before walking away, and despite the Harris campaign's repeated use of divisive and incendiary rhetoric, she claims her presidential run is actually about bringing people together.
One of the points I think that is a point of pride for everyone who attends, and including myself, is that our campaign really is about bringing people together, people of very different and diverse backgrounds, around a common theme that is about love of country, defending the Constitution of the United States, and investing in our future, and rejecting the notion that we are divided or that should be acceptable, that we would be divided as a nation. So I'm very proud to have the support of men, women, young people, people of every background.
Martisa.
So remember when she was going to run on Joy?
You mean last week?
I remember being at the DNC with you guys, and we were all joy and vibes. Well, you know what? You know who's campaigning with joy? Donald Trump. He's making fries at McDonald's. He's driving a garbage truck. He's wearing the orange vest out there, and she's running around calling his supporters Nazis. I mean, put aside the garbage. When they compare that rally at MSG to a Nazi rally, what they're saying, they showed the pictures of all those people with I'm not going to do it, but the arms in the air with the Nazi salute. That's what they're calling Trump supporters. It's not that he's the Nazi. The people in the room were Nazis. And that's bringing people together? How is that bringing people together?
Well, actually, it is uniting people.
Oh.
But not the way they want, because everybody's kind of deciding how they feel about these moments. Look, Emily, I was asked by Brett Baer last evening, which of these moments felt bigger, deplorables or what's happening now? This feels bigger because Hillary was failed more than once as a presidential candidate. Joe Biden's actually the president and actually put the woman who's running for the presidency as vice president, put her in charge of one of our greatest challenges this decade, and that is an open border. So it matters now, and it matters. Where is the joy? I mean, who is she?
Right. Such a great point. I agree with you. It feels bigger now. It's also because we've gone through so much more. You know, it hurts so much deeper because right now Americans now have been hurting for quite some time. And to your point, it rings so hollow when we have these shallow calls for unity because we've heard it 4 years ago. Nothing happened. In fact, quite the opposite. And also, for example, you know, she chose for her closing argument to be on the ellipses, like, right, or the ellipse. She chose to say, this is what I think you all care the most about, which is January 6th. Why didn't she choose maybe East Palestine, Ohio? What about North Carolina? Right? What about Oklahoma? There's a lot of, every single state has multiple perfect places for her to stand and say, this is my closing argument. I'm fighting for you, American people, so I stand with you, American people. Instead, she chose something that was symbolic to a very tiny faction that are those behind the keyboards, and behind the decisions in production rooms, shaping the narrative that has nothing to do with what Americans feel and see on a daily basis, which has been nothing but disrespect from this administration and being totally forgotten by them for all decisions as they eradicated the strong fabric that was America under Donald Trump.
Look, you heard in the last couple of days the former president talk about 250 million people who are eligible to vote. That number is probably based on 2020's 231 million. So everybody thinks there might be more eligible this time around because it's years later. Whatever the fact, that would be everybody who's voting. Yeah. That wouldn't just be his supporters. And so in his words, this insults everybody because it pits us against each other in such a cruel way.
It does. And if you look at his exact comments that Kamala was referring to in that soundbite we just played, he said he would protect women whether they like it or not. Now, she took that and turned it on its head and made it about abortion because that is literally all she has. And she went and said he wants to punish women. He has never said that. That's never been a tenet of the pro-life movement from anyone. But that's the way she turned it. What Donald Trump was meaning, and I hear it very clearly, he wants to protect women economically, meaning lowering the cost of childcare, paid family leave, affording your grocery list. He wants to protect women personally, crime in the streets, these Soros DAs that have allowed it to soar. He wants you to be safe in your home, and he wants to protect women internationally, and we should not forget this one. He said in that same speech that our treasure is being sent overseas to fight in foreign wars. Our treasure is our children. He wants to protect women and families, and I knew exactly what he meant, but leave it to Kamala to make it about abortion.
Yeah, and when you talk about about that eligibility. 231 people eligible to vote in 2020. A lot of those children have now turned 18. So they're making that number even bigger. And you've got both sides. Who do you think, Kaylee, is most talking to everybody?
Well, it's definitely not Kamala Harris. And, you know, she tries to act as if she's running a unifying campaign, that that's what she really wants to do. But it's not just the Democrats' rhetoric that undermines that claim. It's also Kamala Harris's policies. Let's remember here, Kamala Harris wants to force Christians to perform abortions. She wants to force grocery stores to, you know, manually change their prices based on what she wants items to cost. She wants to completely overhaul the Supreme Court because she doesn't want the justices telling her no. This is an agenda that is inherently divisive. And again, it all goes back to this issue of power. She does not view the American voters as constituents that she has a responsibility to listen to, respect, and ultimately to serve. She views them as a pathway to power, and her agenda will bulldoze them if they try to tell her no.
Look, we've been saying the election is 5 days away. It's a little bit after noon on the East Coast, so half a day gone. Fox News has special coverage of the big night. Our expert election coverage happens all night long. Martha McCallum, Brett Baer, hosting Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fox News Channel FNC for the Cool.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.